Hi guys, this is Brian and I collect toys that inspire the art that I make. Today, I'll show you how this Funko Pop of Kurogiri from My Hero Academia inspired me to make this illustration. The Funko Pop figure of Kurogiri stands at about 5 inches tall and is a pretty nice representation of the character in the trademark Funko Pop aesthetic. There is no articulation on his head, but it is made from this nice dark purple translucent plastic that gives a nice effect when it's hit by the light. His hands are made with the same material as his head, but this time the paint gets thinner as we move towards the end of the smoke trail, which adds to the effect that it is moving. He is wearing a white shirt, dress pants, and pointy leather shoes, as well as a vest and a tie. All the things that make Kurogiri the dapper villain that he is. The one thing that I don't like about this pop is that his neck armor is too short. In the anime, it's really quite long and is actually the one thing that stands out from his costume. Here in the toy, it looks like it's just a collar to his white shirt. But I get it. The nature of it being a Funko Pop figure kinda demanded that it be what it is. Paint is kind of what you'd expect from old pops. Upon closer inspection, it looks sloppy, but it's okay when you look at it from about a foot away. For this illustration, I will be using Clip Studio Paint and I will be drawing on my Wacom Cintiq 22 on a 2018 iMac with the aid of a Wacom remote for easy access to my most used keyboard shortcuts. So I like this stance that Kurogiri has with his weight heavily planted on his right leg and his left hand raised like it's ready to fight, so we'll be using that. The figure already has this sinister look, thanks to the nature of him being Kurogiri, but I want to up that to 11 by making him look more aggressive by introducing sharper angles and exaggerating the shapes that make up his mist. Kurogiri is one of the first villains that we see in My Hero Academia, and from the get-go, we see him as a strong, level-headed sidekick to Tomura Shigaraki, who, in stark contrast, is very immature and has a quick temper. He is, as revealed in chapter 253 of the manga, to be in fact a high-end Nomu, programmed to obey only a few people and was designed to be Shigaraki's protector. His quirk is called Warp Gate, which allows him to create a dark fog from his head and body that he uses to transport anything that it comes into contact with. A quick note here, his villain name means Black Mist, an obvious reference to how his powers work. His power, as explained in the My Hero Academia wiki, is coordinate-based, meaning that he needs to know exactly where he needs to open the exit to his portal. Also, he can make multiple portals at once and he can use said portal as a weapon by closing them while someone or something is halfway through, therefore cutting said object or person in half. So a few weeks ago, we were rewatching the first season of MHA and I was surprised that Kurogiri was first portrayed as quite sinister when he first appeared. I was already so used to seeing him as this butler figure slash logical sidekick to Shigaraki. You know, the one person who was always calm while the villains were losing their wits. And I have associated him so much to Batman's Alfred that I forgot that he was willing to kill students when they first attack UA High. I also forgot that from the get-go that the plan of the League of Villains was to trap All Might with their Nomu and then to have Kurogiri slice All Might by closing the portal in on him. That was kind of brutal, and his attack power was never really exploited in the story after this, so I really forgot that he was capable of doing this. Well, of course, we all know how powerful Warp Gate is. The strategic significance of this ability is undeniable, especially when you are planning a war on society and going in and out quick to do guerrilla strikes is important. We've also seen him transport both villains in Hero and Mass, and that his ability is kind of a force multiplier in that whose side has him has a huge tactical and logistical advantage over their enemy. I was actually shocked when he was revealed later in the manga and the anime to be a high-end Nomu. I was surprised to find out that a Nomu could in fact be quite autonomous. is able to make high-level tactical decisions and be the voice of reason in the League of Villains. So it was surprising for me. But then again, I realized too that as a Nomu, he is an artificial being designed for a specific task. To protect All for One's heir Shigaraki, and if that entailed that he be as capable of high-level thinking and reasoning, so much so that he is in some ways not like a Nomu as we know one to be, then so be it. I mean, I like it. I love it. And it works very well within the context of the story. And then we come to know that Kurogiri is in fact made by Dr. Kyudai Garaki from the body of Oboro Shirakumo, who is a very close friend of Aizawa and Hisashi during their hero training days. Oboro was killed by a villain during their hero work studies, and his quirk, the ability to manipulate clouds, served as the base for Kurogiri's warp gate. In stark contrast to Kurogiri's calculated demeanor, Oboro was quite goofy and jovial and was extremely helpful to those in need. This revelation played nicely in the story, and as we near the story's closing chapter, we see Oboro's personality slowly revealing itself inside of Kurogiri, which again makes us re-evaluate our understanding of what Nomus really are in the world of My Hero Academia. Him siding with the heroes, whether it is because he is slowly becoming Oboro again, or maybe because Kurogiri sees this as a means to protect his ward, is something that should be revealed later in the story. But there is no denying that with Warpgate now in the hands of the heroes, the tide of war has moved quite a bit in their favor, especially when we saw the multiple warp gates opening to bring all of the available heroes to where Deku is to help him in his battle with All for One in chapter 420 of the manga. Here it is, guys! I added the same Funko Pop packaging inspired box behind Kurogiri as the one I used with Mirko to give him a more comic book art vibe and to help frame the composition. This was a fun exercise in drawing and coloring characters, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me draw this villain from My Hero Academia. Please do like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next drawing video.